while back, we were in a difficult situation, tough day in Nashville. And I think there's a beauty in what's happening here today, in the promise and the protection of life, and the beauty of life that God breathed into our lungs. And when He did, He gave us value. There's this beauty in Christianity, this thing you can only get from a Creator, is inherent worth. You know, without Jesus or without a Creator, there is no such thing as inherent worth. It's the beauty of the kingdom of heaven, because the kingdom of heaven is not a kingdom where we have equal talents or abilities. You see, that's how this place, this natural world, that's how we define worth, based on your abilities or what you can offer me. That's why Jesus came, because those people who couldn't offer or who were less than, they were being shoved down and pushed down, the worthless, the helpless. Many of us. That's the culture, and Jesus came and said, I'm going to show you a better way. If you want to be great in my kingdom, then you wash feet. You want to be great in my kingdom, then you serve. And He turned a kingdom of this, a kingdom of talents and abilities, and He said, that's not what my kingdom is. My kingdom is a kingdom of equal worth, of equal value, where He breathed His breath of life into you. He created your heartbeat. He knows the number of hairs on your head. And He says you are worth something. A couple months ago, in the city of Nashville, a tragic school shooting happened and life was taken. And it was in one of the hardest days. We had friends at the school, and we found ourselves praying prayers that we almost wanted to take back, prayers that were like, we knew kids had passed, and sitting there in our seats saying, God, don't let it be our friends' kids, right? That's a natural prayer. But then you stop and you think about it and you're like, God, I don't want it to be anybody's kids. That's hard. Our friend David, he's a great producer and a great friend. His kids will go to the school. His wife teaches at the school. And they weren't hurt, but they were dealing with a lot of trauma. And David canceled all his rights, and one of those rights, we were going to have a right with him about 2 weeks after, and we had called him and said, hey man, you don't have the right with us. And he said, no, I'm going to keep this one. You guys are my friends, and I feel like even if we don't write, we can just hang out, because I just need people in my life. And so we went to Dave's house. And it was amazing, because Dave had been to 5 funerals in the last week. 5. And he was telling us, he said, you would think that it would be heartbreaking and heartrending, and it was. It was. He said, but through all of it, every parent of every child, every single one spoke of the hope that is in Jesus. And the fact that death is not the end. And he said, through this darkness and this haze that everyone was in, he said it was as though God took the veil between the natural and the supernatural, and He made it thinner. And everybody there, he said, the presence of God was so strong and hope was in the room. He doesn't leave us alone tonight. He doesn't. He's not leaving you alone tonight. We did write a song with Dave that day. It was a song that came out of Lamentations, like some of the hardest stuff. And there's this verse that talks about all of this darkness. And then in the middle of it, it says, yet will I dare to hope. I will dare to hope. And so we wrote this chorus. We wrote these words. Hope can't be shaken by fear. And it cannot be taken by force. Because it's not something on the outside. It's what we hold in our hearts when we believe in Jesus. Tonight, this has been in our hearts so much. This world is full of so much chaos. There is no hope, y'all. There's no hope in our politics. There's no hope in the natural. There's only hope in Jesus tonight. That's it. We wrote this song because, man, we wanted to speak into a world that was struggling with hope. And we named it based on the verse, Dare to Hope. How do you pick up the pieces of a home that's torn apart? How do you believe for healing for a grieving, broken heart? It's only by the hope of Jesus that light bursts through the dark to meet us where we are. And hope can't be shaken by fear, can't be taken by force, but lifts the soul from despair and declares it's worth fighting for. Our God still carries the weight of this broken world. So though my sorrow is great, I will dare to hope. Hope, I'll dare to hope, dare to hope. I whisper my deepest heartache become holy ground, because he turned across the suffering into my victory now. It's only by the blood of Jesus that he laid his life down so my life could be found. Yeah, and that's why hope can't be shaken by fear, can't be taken by force. It lifts the soul from despair and says it's worth fighting for. Our God still carries the weight of this broken world. So though my sorrow is great, I will dare to hope for the grief, dare to hope for my family, dare to hope for my future, dare to hope. I will dare to hope for the grieving, dare to hope for my neighbor, dare to hope for my enemies, dare to hope. I will dare to hope. Can't be shaken by fear, can't be taken by force. It lifts a soul from despair